Once more into the breach this evening. Once more will ride the huddled masses yearning to be duped and indoctrinated. Meaning, of course, well, yearning to be free and hear lofty words that will later be torn asunder and proven to be nothing more than well-decorated falsehoods from someone who wants to destroy this nation. I'm sorry, just a little too much convention coffee, I guess. Let's get this back on track, okay? Hillary Clinton will continue her historic journey tonight by accepting the Democratic nomination for president. The game is now afoot. After tonight, it's all about the days and weeks America will be verbally pounded into submission for a November vote that will change this nation no matter who takes that big chair. Okay, let's bring this down a notch. It's all hyperbole, it's all promises, all platitudes from those who believe there is an element of the voting public out there who is dumber than dirt and won't see through that shiny veneer. Let us then peek behind the curtain and see if we can expose the wizards to get the truth, see where this battle will really go from here. Your phone call is always part of the conversation. Listen to what we're talking about. Stay on point. Make it short and sweet. You will be rewarded with the thanks of a concerned nation. Or at least initially by our call screeners who have a tough enough job as it is, okay? And they don't have enough coffee. 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-639-7629. Get online, get in line right now. Let's begin the political animal and welcome back rock-solid constitutional conservative, political commentator across the broadcast board. Her thoughts can be read at libertyjuice.com. She is shy, she is demure, she was always the quiet child in school. Brittany Pounders. Joined by conservative activist, Newsmax insider, host of the Julio Rivera Show on Lanterns Radio Network, the self-described conservarican. Always thought to never raise a voice. I can't even get this out because I just know what these two are going to get to here because this is frightening. Never raise a debate with a lady, but who understands that in politics there is no gender. Julio Rivera.
Yes, sir.
Worked all afternoon on that, and here we go. Destroyed it in about 8.3 seconds. Let's get right to it here. All right, let's start up. During his news conference, we have to start here, Donald Trump, yesterday, talked about the possibility of Russia being behind the DNC email hack. Here's what he said.
If Russia or China or any other country has those emails, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd love to see them. I will tell you this. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
And there is this, Leon Panetta reacting to Donald Trump's Russia comments. He made a statement to CNN. Here we go.
I find those kinds of statements to be totally outrageous because you've got now a presidential candidate who is, in fact, asking the Russians to engage in American politics. And I just think that that's beyond the pale.
Okay, Julio, you come up first on this one. Donald Trump said, come on, will you please? I was just kidding. People like Leon Panetta, Mike Morrell, and so many others in the intelligence community say, if you're going to be president, you don't kid like that because you're basically giving the Russians a lot of ammunition. What do you think?
Well, what ammunition is he truly giving them? I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that he was kidding. This is a campaign right now that's being run against the Democrats and the Republicans. Of course, they're going to try to make it seem like it's something that it wasn't. They're going to take it out of context. They're going to do anything they can to bash him because right now the Democrats are having a horrible convention right now. They're not projecting the truth at all to the American people, and every day Donald Trump is doing better in the polls. I mean, I didn't take any stock in what he actually said and took it seriously as an invite to espionage. Either they have them or they don't, and whether they want them or they don't, it doesn't matter whether or not Donald Trump calls them to go get it.
Well, let's go ahead and bring in the shine demure Brittany Pounders in here, who I think has been shaking her head for a good reason. All yours.
Yeah, let's think about this for a moment. Our Republican nominee just encouraged Putin to release any top secret information that he might have for the pure purpose of political gain, regardless of what damage that it could do to our country, regardless of what harm that it may do to our soldiers. Right when you think that this can't get any worse, this is a man who's going to be briefed on national security if he gets elected. And he shows that the only loyalty that he has is to himself. And what I find worse is that his supporters are in agreement with this.
Now, here's something else. The former NSA and CIA Director Michael Hayden also very unhappy with Donald Trump's comments. He is one of those who basically, it was a piling on session today from those who have been in security and those who understand national security. He was basically hammering away at Trump. He's telling the government, the Russians, to steal, release state secrets. All right, wait a minute. I'm going to bring this back in here. Late today, in Politico, there was a story featuring Mike Morell, who led the CIA at various points in the Obama administration. Very smart guy. Mike Morell said, wait a minute, everybody just back up a second here. The stakes aren't really that high. There's some alarmism here, but it's not necessary because, according to him, there's not a tremendous amount of extremely sensitive stuff here. These are analytic judgments. So, Brittany, if you're going to go ahead and knock away at what Donald Trump said here, do you have to just back up a little and say, well, what is he really saying here? Because there might not be enough there to even worry about. That's what they're going to come back at you with.
If it's not that much to worry about, then why did we just go through all of these hearings and waste so much taxpayer dollars on all of this? I find the whole thing absurd. And the fact that he doubled down on this supposed joke as soon as he got back on his plane and retweeted it out shows that this man is very unstable and extremely dangerous to the security of this country. All
right, now, Julio, let's give you this one here. There's an old saying that actually came out in World War II, which probably means about 6 people know it by now, but I just know it because I'm a student of World War II. It was loose lips sink ships, is what they came up and saying. And that's what people are pointing to right now, saying, wait a minute, we can't trust Hillary Clinton here because we all know about the emails. God knows who has her hand on those. And then Donald Trump is out here making statements like this, basically telling one of our enemies to go ahead and steal secrets, if you will. Why should we trust either one of these people with our state secrets?
Well, you know, that's a very good question. And I don't think right now during the electoral process that they should be made privy to any type of national security secrets, because Hillary Clinton, first of all, we already know her history, the pay-to-play, the Clinton Foundation, Russian uranium, and all the other nonsense. And Donald Trump, why should he get access to any kind of information now that if he loses, he can use in the private sector? It's like having insider stock secrets. He can take the information and maybe profit off of it later on. So right now, I think the less that the two of them know, the better for the American people.
All right. Let's go ahead and take
it. Are you saying that you don't trust Trump? Are you saying, Julio, that you don't trust Trump to keep his word?
I'm not saying that I don't trust him,
but
right now,
he's not in government. He's not in government. Of the White House, make him free leader of this world, the leader of the free world.
Time. Hold on, Brittany. Hang on. Go ahead. I knew I was going to have to do this. I swear I'm going to get I'm going to get a boxing bell in here. Okay, you made your point, Julio. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is he's a private citizen right now. No one should have access to this information except for the principals that are involved. Why would you give that information to someone that's just running for candidate? Do you want to give that information to Gary Johnson and Jill Stein?
No, I agree with you, but my point is I don't trust him either, and you just let the world know that you don't trust him either.
Wait a minute, I think that's a fair question, Julio. Do you trust him?
I trust Donald Trump, of course. I believe he loves America.
But do you trust him? Wait a minute, you're backing up here. You just indicated that you didn't want to trust him.
I just said that the possibility exists that anyone that is privy to this information could use it for their own gain later on. I'm not saying specifically him. I'm just saying let's apply common sense here and let's not give information where it doesn't need to be given.
How dare you use the words common sense when it comes to politics? You're on double secret probation. Hang on a sec. Clark is in Camp Verde, Arizona. Hey, Clark, thanks for joining us at 1-877 Newsmax. Yes. Now, Donald Trump sort of walked these comments back about Russia and said it was just a joke. You didn't think he should have walked it back. Why?
Well, you know what? Initially, it was a knee-jerk reaction that I got from him, and then I thought about it, realizing, you know what? He is, if it's so non-sequential, the information that has been put out there, or the emails she's erased, why are they so worried about it? You know, I think they're in a great panic because they are still hiding something. She's been hiding something from day one.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call. I only got about a minute left here. I'm going to hit both of you with this because we've got more to go. You're going to stay over into the next segment. Goodness knows what's going to happen from there. And by the way, Julio, we have a surprise for you. At this point in time, everybody is now talking about what the president said last night and what Hillary Clinton is going to say tonight. Give me 30 seconds, Julio. Is there anything you fear from Hillary Clinton saying tonight that you think will hurt the Republicans?
Well, she's going to come out and she's going to try to give a stark contrast to what Donald Trump gave last week. Donald Trump gave us a heavy dose of the truth. He expressed the trouble that we're in right now and that we're in dire straits. She's going to come out and say that the last 7.5 years have been great, and she wants to continue in the wonderful tradition of what Barack Obama has accomplished to change the world in the last 7 years. And unfortunately, gullible people will believe it.
Okay, Brittany, I'm going to give you 30 seconds, but a different question here. There are some people thinking that there are quote-unquote never Trump supporters who may actually want to vote for Hillary Clinton after tonight. You falling for any of that?
Well, I'll tell you what, she made a pick with VP Tim Kaine, who is a likable guy. I thought it was probably a mistake for her to pick him just for her, simply because he's more of a moderate. I mean, he has a pro-life voting record. He's pro-trade. People who are in the middle, who are moderates, independents,
answer the question. Answer the question. Hang on, Julio. Will Republicans?
I believe you will see a coalition of Republicans that vote for Hillary Clinton. I won't be voting for her, but I do believe
traitors. They would be.
I knew he was going to say that. He'd have to put that in here. More with Brittany Pounders and Julio Rivera on the other side of the break. More of your phone calls and comments at 1-877-Newsmax. More of what makes America wonder how long the stove has been on and what's with all this gas in the room. It sure feels that way. The Hardline continues. Back to work with the political animal. Get back on those phone lines at 1-877-Newsmax and make your comments known to the entire world. Welcome back. The staunch conservative who recently took to her Facebook page and warned anyone about being intolerant that they will face her wrath if they don't get in line. Brittany Pounders, joined by the fellow staunch Republican who made his thoughts about a certain Democrat known by posting this picture on his Facebook page with the comment, "This is the only Bernie I can tolerate." And we might add a damn handsome Bernie that now is seeking more than a few biscuits for being part of the show.
Yes, exactly. He's actually a trusted political advisor as well. He's a little bit more of a centrist, so I don't listen to him all the time.
Thank God he's not a union member. We'd have to pay him those fees. But hey, look, in the way things are going in 2016, I can almost see why that you're looking to this kid for some political advice here. All right, quick question here before we move on to some issue things here. Julio, I'll stay with you first. Politico asked this question. I think it's fair. Is Tim Kaine liberal enough? Because I'm actually hearing some conservatives who say, he might not be a bad guy. I'm hearing from some people on the left who are going, this guy's completely useless.
Listen, he's just like every other flimsy Democrat. I mean, Barack Obama considered him for vice president. He was the previous actual DNC chair before Debbie Wasserman Schulten actually suggested her to be his successor. So, I mean, this guy's in with the hardcore left. He may have a voting record that's a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. But remember, he was a governor. And people that I know from the state of Virginia have actually told me that he was a poor to mediocre actual governor. His record looks a little bit better and a little bit more centrist due to the state legislature, not anything that he did himself personally.
All right, Brittany, in the Washington Post, they said, America, meet Tim Kaine, your new stepdad. I mean, what's going on here? What is there, a love affair here all of a sudden?
Look, there are a lot of undecided voters right now, more than any other election. People who consider themselves, like I said, moderates or independents and maybe lean Republican, they're taking another look at the Democrat Party. And here's the deal. Like it or not, Tim Kaine, he's affable, he's likable, he's nice. And I think that it's going to hurt Trump and Pence. I think he's far more of an asset to Hillary than Pence is to Trump. People who need a reason to vote Democrat this year, I think he brings some of that factor to that party.
All right, before we hit issues, grab a quick phone call. Here's Suzanne is in Pennsylvania who believes the media is unfairly targeting Donald Trump. Come on, Suzanne, haven't we heard this before?
Oh, I'll tell you, I am hot. I am
Go for it.
I am sick and tired of them slamming Donald. And as far as these emails are concerned, are they forgetting who the author of the emails are? Hillary Clinton, and they swept it under the carpet.
I don't think anybody is forgetting that.
Why is Obama campaigning for Hillary?
Well, he's campaigning for Hillary. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let's just get to that. I mean, isn't it fair to say, Brittany, that the president, of course, is going to campaign for Hillary Clinton because she's a Democrat. He's going to continue to push the message forward. Some people believe that this is a good point to go off on here. Some people believe that with Hillary Clinton in office, Brittany, that it will simply be 4 more, maybe 8 more years of Barack Obama's policies. Do you believe that? That certainly seems a little bit almost egomaniacal to me, that she wouldn't at least put some of her own policies in there, which quite frankly are a little frightening.
Well, first, I just want to say regarding the media, they've given him $10 billion in free airtime, so I'm not sure what anybody's griping about. Look, regarding Hillary and Obama, I think she's going to probably walk back some of his policies. I could see her maybe changing the TPP. She's going to have to do something with Obamacare. I don't know exactly what. But that was part of her problem in the primaries in 2008 is Obama took a hard left. And I don't think she was fully comfortable with that because strangely enough, ironically enough, Democrats do not consider her to be this socially crazy liberal. They're very angry, some of them, that she's more of a moderate, and hence that's why I think Bernie had a job, and that was to change the conversation and pull the party back to the left and force her to go back to that direction.
So then, Julio, what her speech tonight and then moving forward, then, Julio, in your opinion, what would be the issue that you believe that Hillary Clinton will walk back from Barack Obama that actually might make some people happy? Anything?
Well, Brittany was talking before about Obamacare and fixing it. If you look at Hillary Care back in the 90s, the way that it was written, it was in some ways even worse than Obamacare. I mean, they turned medical care into a government product under Hillary Care, and there was a provision in there that doctors who were performing medical procedures or treating people outside of the scope of the government could be prosecuted. I mean, that's right out of 1930s Germany. So, I mean, I don't see Hillary as a moderate. I don't see Tim Kaine as a moderate. I see them presenting themselves that way. But any Republican that would dare vote for Hillary Clinton as a protest vote to Donald Trump is out of their mind.
All right, hang tight here. Hold on, Brittany. I'm short on time. I got to move on here. Hold on to that for a second here because I got an issue I have to get to. First of all, Arnie's in Sterling, Michigan at 1-877 Newsmax. Arnie, you believe Donald Trump should be thanked for his comments about Russia. Tell us why in 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. I believe Donald Trump should be thanked because all he is doing is requesting information that was already requested. I mean, sent, not requested. It was he's requesting something that someone else already lost. He's doing America a favor by saying, hey, publicly, how about sending us those emails that Hillary pushed the delete button to?
I think that there's more than a few people who might be on your side on that one. Thanks a lot for the call. I'm going to get to an issue right now. Here's Donald Trump. He talks about the minimum wage here, and this is something that has gone completely by the board here that no one really seems to be talking about. We're going to do it right now. Telling the press that he wants to raise the minimum wage. Here's what he said.
The minimum wage has to go up. People are at least $10, but it has to go up. But I think that states, should really call the shot. As an example, I live in New York. It's very expensive in New York. You can't buy a hot dog for the money you're talking about. People have to be taken care of. But what I'm really going to do on the minimum wage, but it has to go up. Now, Bernie Sanders lied. Bernie Sanders said in his speech the other day that Donald Trump wants the minimum wage to go below $7. I said, where did he come up with that one?
I will say this, being a New York kid, it does not cost that much to buy a good dirt water dog in New York. It still is very affordable. All right. So, Brittany, I come to you first on this one. The minimum wage. Some say $10, some say $15. And let me ask a dumb question here, I guess. Maybe we should. Who's going to pay for this?
You know, it's crazy. There's a Democrat supporting big liberal policy. I'm shocked. Look, in the debates, he said it was too high. Every other day, he says everything is negotiable. He'll say what he needs to say to get elected, and that's going to depend on the day. His financial advisor was left holding the bag. He had no idea that Trump had changed his stance on this. It just goes to prove that Trump will continue the same small business crushing policies that Obama has.
And I'll tell you what, Julio, Brittany does hit on this. You can go back and check it because it is absolutely factual. Donald Trump has flipped and flopped and flipped and flopped on this issue back and forth. Now he's saying raise the minimum wage. But the point still comes to the issue here. We're talking about a higher minimum wage. We're talking about Bernie Sanders wants to get college paid for everybody. We're talking about new road infrastructures. People, please, who's going to pay for this?
Okay, well, we're doing one issue at a time. The minimum wage issue.
We won't have time. We'll be here all night.
You have to remember that he right now is in a national election. The important thing that you have to take away from what he said there was you leave it up to the states, and that's exactly right. Listen, he's going to try to get independents to come over to him. That's something that's going to happen during the campaign season. We're not kids. We've been through this before. We know that politicians are going to try to do what they need to do to get elected, but the important thing is what I got left with there is that he's going to allow the states to set their own minimum wage.
Okay, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for that. that, but I'm going to throw myself into this conversation here as just another voter, okay? We still haven't gotten to it. Nobody said it yet. How are we going to pay for this? We have billions, trillions of dollars in government waste in this country. That's taxpayer money that basically gets thrown into the air. We have people saying we need better infrastructure, we need higher wages, we need this. I haven't heard anybody actually come up with an economic plan that takes care of all the waste, basically stops all that, and stops America from being taxed to death here.
Well, Julio, this is just another issue that you have thrown under the bus with your
I'm not throwing anything under the bus.
Yes,
the fact of the matter is, listen, he said the state.
Okay, Julio, let her answer. Hang on, Julio. Go ahead, 30 seconds.
Very insightful that you wrote a couple months ago. It says, I hope if I ever for a second lose my way, one of you will bring me back to reality. This isn't about, and never has been about popularity, advancing in media, or winning an election. It's strictly about doing the right thing and advancing the cause of conservatism, not the BS Trump version. Then you went on to say regarding Ben Carson's endorsement, everyone has a price. So my question to you, Julio, is what was your price? Is it for the better shrimp cocktails over there at the Trump campaign? A few more gigs on TV? I'm not sure what it was, but I find it
okay. All right, hang on, Brittany. 30 seconds. Go, Julio. That's all you got.
Well, I love the fact that she's trolling my page, but the fact of the matter is we can't sit there and fight these battles anymore. Ted Cruz is out of the race, and you weren't even a Ted Cruz supporter. Had you supported Ted Cruz in Texas, instead of Marco Rubio, he might have gotten the winner-take-all delegates, and we might have Ted Cruz right now in the race instead of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is our best option, and if you don't believe that, you're delusional. You're gonna help us get Hillary Clinton. People like you, Brittany.
Okay, wait. We have to stop when we hear the word delusional. We know that it's all stopping right there, but we still didn't talk about the money. Okay, we're going to do that. By the way, give Bernie an extra couple of biscuits for us. And by the way, please ask Bernie who's going to pay for all this. Your Bernie. Let's see if he comes up with anything. Guys, I got to tell you, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And I should tell you that these guys are friends. Okay, well, we all are. At least we say we are. Julio Rivera and Brittany Pounders. Very nice kiss you just blew her. Very nice. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. How to spot a con job when you see one. That's at least what we're talking about next with Curtis Sliwa when the Hardline continues.